Inflation, a word that's being tossed around a lot lately. Well, right now we're going to talk about it just a little bit more. Stay tuned. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate everyone that's watching. All the subscribers, definitely appreciate you. For those who, I guess, doubted or thought that inflation or shortages was just part of our imaginations, well, I'm assuming you're the same people who probably believe a lot in MSM, mainstream media, and mainstream media articles. So, according to this Washington Post article titled 4 Ways Americans Are Feeling Inflation. And the 4 ways that they say people are feeling inflation. Number 1, obviously, food. It reads here, every category of food, including fruits and vegetables, bread and dairy, has become more expensive in the past year as the industry confronts rising energy and transportation costs along with mounting labor shortages. The most pronounced increases have been in meat, fish, and egg prices, which are up 12.5%, in part because of higher grain costs, as well as a shortage of refrigerated trucks and the truckers to drive them. Wonder why there are a lack of truckers. Maybe I'll say that for another video, maybe. Overall, grocery prices have risen 6.5% in the last year. So obviously, if grocery prices have risen, the grocer's going to have to pass that down to the customers, right? Which also means in some cases, your grocery stores may not be able to get in as many groceries as they used to, which could be why we're seeing empty shelves. So basically, it's not in our part of our imagination. It's actually happening. Quote, it comes down to labor and transportation, Hartman said. Quote, we all go to the grocery store and say, what's going on? Chicken is $1 a pound higher, and it's because that chicken is caught in the global supply chain, unquote. The next one is gas and energy costs. In one of the most visible instances of inflation, gasoline prices have skyrocketed 50% in the past year, according to the Labor Department. 50%. Wow. That's crazy. Although the average price per gallon, about $3.31, is still below November's record of $3.44, that figure has started inching back up in the recent weeks following growing unrest in Kazakhstan and other oil-rich nations, said Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum and analyst for GasBuddy. Quote, after seeing a little bit of relief, gas prices have been back on the rise for the last 2 weeks, he said. But for all the complaining about higher gas prices, it does not seem to have a negative impact on consumption. Americans are still filling up at the pump. Yeah, I would say they are. I would say they are. And let's be honest, still the majority of people have cars or automobiles that require fuel. You know, most people honestly can't go out and drop $50,000, $70,000 on, an all-electric automobile. Whether it's a finance problem, they don't have the actual cash, or maybe they don't have the credit. So, anyways, that's just my opinion on that. Next is housing. It's no secret that home prices have soared during this pandemic. Median home prices jumped to a record $362,800 in June, according to the National Association of Realtors, as Americans across the country looked for larger, more spacious homes. Hmm. Wow. But now, as people return to city centers, rents are ticking up, especially in large urban areas. Economists say that they expect those higher costs to factor more heavily in overall inflation numbers, which are calculated based on the going rate of home rentals. Overall housing prices rose 4.1% last year, Labor Department data shows. So basically, housing costs are going up. And it also says here that a lot of leases expired at the end of the year. So as those get adjusted, we're going to start seeing even bigger increases in rents. That's a quote, by the way. And the last reason that people are going to start seeing inflation is in healthcare. So 2 years into this thing we got going on, the healthcare industry continues to struggle with too little supply of both workers and goods and overwhelming demand. As a result, medical costs have begun ticking up. So far, those price increases have been modest, about 2.5% in the past year, though economists say they expect that rate to pick up in the coming months as a certain thing that's going on continues to weigh in on the sector. Quote, there's an enormous strain on the healthcare system at every point. Nurses are burned out. Lots of people are showing up with a certain thing in addition to other needs. Veldkamp of Columbia Business School said, that shows up as higher prices for everything. So, once again, the four ways that most people are being impacted by this inflation is number one, as we've discussed quite often on this channel, food. Number two, gas and energy costs, fueling up, heating up. Housing, the housing market, yeah, the housing costs are definitely going up a little bit. Whether you're buying or you're renting, I'm pretty sure this has negatively affected you or negatively affected someone that you know. And healthcare costs is actually inching its way up, and according to them, it's going to be on the rise a little more in 2022. So what does that mean for a prepper? Really, a real prepper, it means you should continue to do what you've been doing. Getting your food, getting your fuel, have a decent shelter over your head for you and your family, or have a secondary shelter you can go to in case things don't work out. And also, make sure you have plenty of medication. That's what real preppers do. Anyways, if you have any comments, please leave them below. Please give the video a like, and please subscribe to the channel. And as always, get ready, stay ready. God bless.